This past weekend, I went to the Toyman Toy Show in the St. Louis area of Missouri. Now, the Toyman Show is one that I have been attending for many years now, but I actually haven't been in about a year. Well, this past weekend, one happened, and I happened to have a free weekend, and kind of on a whim, me and the family decided to drive down and check out the toy show. Now, I wasn't intending on actually doing any filming because I just wanted to have a day with the kids to go do some toy hunting. Sometimes I need a break from this and just, enjoy my hobby. But because I am who I am, I couldn't resist getting a little bit of footage while I was at the show. Now, I didn't get a ton of footage, so today's video is gonna be a little different than my typical toy hunting videos have been because I have less to show from the actual show floor, but I got a lot of cool stuff that I'm excited about, so I guess it's gonna be more of like a show and tell episode of toy hunting. It's gonna be basically all about the haul today. So some of the footage I do want to show you guys. When I first walked in the door, probably my favorite booth of the whole show floor was right there inside the doors when you're first walking in and paying for your tickets. And that's because this table was filled with so much retro goodness. And it was at this point that I decided that I wanted to shoot some of this stuff just to show some of the amazing things I was seeing on the tables here. For instance, man, this baggie of army ants, in fact, there's a couple of baggies of army ants here. These are awesome, and I actually do have several army ants figures at home in my personal collection, but I remember really loving these when I was a kid. But I specifically only remember seeing them probably well after they had already gone through the cycle of being at stores. I want to say that I got my Army Ants figures as a kid from Big Lots, so they were probably really cheap, and I remember they came in big multi-packs, but it's such a fun toy line, and so I loved seeing all of these baggies full of them here.
Moving on! Up and hills, down and dales, as we hit the dusty trail, Army Ants, we go marching along. We are bad, we are boss, we've got guts that swish and squash. Army Ants, we go marching along. Army Ants. Then it's high, high, heave for the end artillery. Shout out your orders loud and strong. Grab the eggs! For wherever we go, you will always know. Army Ants, we go marching along. Army Ants. Sold in squadrons of 3 and 8 from Hasbro.
So we're looking through this booth, and my son Spencer actually walks up to me and says, "Dad, look what they have." And he hands me the Bandai Mega Man Snake Man figure from 1995. Now, first of all, I want to say it's amazing that he knew that this is something I've been looking for because he's been with me at a few toy shows where I've looked at it. And if you guys have been following my hunts this year, you know that I've run into this figure a few times already this year. And it's always an expensive one because it's one of the rarer figures from that mid-90s Mega Man toy line. But I love that line. I have a very nostalgic connection to that line because it was kind of the first Mega Man toy line we here in the US got. And as a kid, with Mega Man being my favorite game series, I always wanted toys of them, and they didn't come out until we got that animated series in 95. And at this point, I was already an older kid. I was about to go into high school at this point. But because I wanted Mega Man figures so much, I remember that year for my birthday, I think my mom and my sister got me Mega Man and Guts Man, and I actually just had those two, and that was it. So as an adult collector, I've gone back and tried to pick up several figures from this line, and some of these later ones like Snake Men, very difficult to get a hold of. This is pricey, but as you guys are gonna come to see, it's through the whole day, I could not stop thinking about it. But like I said, this booth had so many retro goodies in here. I'm looking at things like all these Visionaries figures that they had hanging up, which is so incredibly cool to see. I'm seeing some superpower stuff, some that I need. I'm seeing real Ghostbusters. There was just a really good selection, but this was the very first table, and I had more show that I wanted to look at still. Look at these Slimers. Look at this Slimer. This one.
Is he eating a bagel?
It's the extreme Ghostbusters version. That's it's like a donut or something. And I think he shoots it.
It looks like a bagel.
Looks like a bagel? Now, just around the corner from this table was a really fun section where it was just bins on the table, just stuff filled with toys, and everything was like $1, $2, $3. Like all these bins had $1, $2, $3 on them. And a lot of it was like more modern stuff. There were some good things mixed in there, but my kids had a blast digging through these bins.
What'd you find? Big Boss Man. Do we have Big Boss Man?
Everything's
We do?
yeah.
Okay.
Look down here, buddy. There's trucks and stuff down here.
This is Hamato Yoshi. This is Splinter
Excuse me.
from the 2003 Turtles line.
Like this in his
Human form. Yep. That's from Roblox, I think, right? Oh, and everything in here is $2. That's a good, if like you want some Roblox toys, that's a good price right there.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking about if I want this guy. Look at this bowl. Oh, I can't do.
This one's from the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's the mayor that gets dunked in the well. I don't think so. $3. Oh, is he? Oh no, his arm's right there. $3. What is this one from? Park series. It's the Iguanodon from the dinosaur ride.
Also, as you see, this section had some Disney Vinylmation figures, so Christina found some stuff right away. Like, honestly, this was really turning into an excellent toy show for the whole family, and it was awesome. Like, it was just really cool, like, seeing my whole family with me and, like, excited about the things we were finding. It really did make the day fun.
Listen to his heartbeat. Listen to him talk. You could save his life. 7 lights and sounds.
Oh, I found this table that had all of this Kenner Batman stuff, as well as a couple Superpowers figures mixed in. But this was a table that really caught my attention because the Kenner Batman stuff is another line that I have been dabbling in and picking up some of my favorite Batman variants and such over the course of this last year here. They had things like the Joker van, which is something that I need still in my collection. A couple of these other vehicles are great too. I love that Penguin jet there. So this was definitely a table where I was like really spending some time looking at it. The prices were about normal on these. You know, like everything was sealed still, so I get it. Like it was all in package stuff. So I wasn't quite sure I wanted to like spend this much money and buy all this stuff, but it was definitely tempting, especially that Joker van. That one is still on my list. I did find a section of carded G.I. Joe figures, and there were some cool ones here, some of the Battle Core figures, and yes, I did see some Ninja Force and Shadow Ninjas in here, but the prices were, you know, higher. I mean, these are all carded Joes, and, you know, I find that stuff is kind of all over the place. I've noticed that the Ninja Force stuff is creeping up. If that's my fault, I'm sorry, but I feel like it's been more expensive recently than I used to see it before I was buying it. I feel like that's just the way these things go. So these were cool to look at, but I did leave them. I ran into some viewers of mine at the show, which was really cool, and one of them specifically told me that there was a booth in here that had a bunch of Ninja Force figures and that they were all like half off, but I never did come across them at the show. He said that a lot of people were looking at them, so very possible I missed out on some Ninja Force this time, but man, there's always more shows. I'll find some more things. So I've only got a little bit more footage from the actual show floor to show you guys, but there were some really cool carded toys here, some great vintage stuff that I was looking at, like the Burbles there from Thundercats, which is really amazing to see those carded. That's not something that comes up very often. Also, these Beetlejuice figures, I've really wanted to get more of the Beetlejuice figures. Like, those are things that, like, every now and then I'll buy one here, I'll buy one there, but it's, like, gotta be at the right price. These were all, like, carded, so the prices were high. Not necessarily something that I need, because I think I would rather have those loose. Those display really good with Ghostbusters and stuff, since they're Kenner and very similar in style. Also, some Police Academy figures I saw carded, and some of those higher-end Ninja Turtles, like Metaluda Mutant Raphael, which is one that I really want, but oh my goodness, the price tag has gotten so high on that figure. Yikes. So really, like I said, not a lot of footage from the show. It was really busy, and honestly, I was just focused on, like, hunting and hanging out with the kids and my wife. So I didn't take out my phone and do a lot of filming. I actually didn't bring my camera with me, so I just shot some things with my phone. And I just didn't want to do it a lot. So I did buy a lot of things though. So the rest of this video is essentially going to be my haul. I hope you guys are cool with that. So first, let me go ahead and let you know that Christina did end up finding a lot of Disney Vinylmation figures at the show. These are the ones that she picked up. This is another thing that we've been picking up throughout the year on our toy hunt, so I was so happy for her that so many of these were around the show. I love seeing that. And for my haul, let's go ahead and start with this, because I feel like I'm going to get this out of the way because a lot of you guys are going to think this stuff is weird. But if you don't know what this is a fob from Teddy Ruxpin. Now, I loved Teddy Ruxpin as a kid. I still have my childhood Teddy. I have a Grubby. Both of them are working. I always wanted a fob. Look at it, he's so cute. And so I grabbed it because the price was right. And also the same vendor had the modern Teddy, and he was like really cheap. He was only $10. And so I ended up just doing a bundle deal, so mostly so I could get the fob, and I got a really good price on both of them. So Modern Teddy came out in 2017, and I was pretty excited at the time for the reboot, but he came and went so fast. I ended up not even really getting him. Now, I know a lot of you think Teddy Ruxpin is creepy. Even the original one. I saw a lot of people saying this one is creepy because the new one has digital eyes. I'm fully expecting the comment section to fill up with Five Nights at Freddy's comments. Go ahead. I don't care. I've always loved Teddy Ruxpin. Let me show you guys this if you've never seen it. Let's see if his eyes get turned on here. Here we go. Come on. No? No?
Hi.
Oh!
My name is Teddy Ruxpin. Can you and I be friends?
Yeah, of course we can, Teddy. Yeah, so the eyes, like, honestly, it's cute, but I can totally see why people were turned off by that. And yeah, I definitely prefer original Teddy over this one too, but man, bundle deal, I couldn't pass it up. And my youngest has been playing with this thing nonstop since I brought it home, so I consider that a win. So, VHS tapes all over the place at the show, and I've talked about this a few times too, but I do like to pick up VHS tapes, specifically of things that haven't really been released anywhere else these days. A lot of times I like finding the old cartoons and stuff on VHS. So I did pick up some. One booth had a mixture of like VHS tapes and like vintage children's books that were like mix and match, 2 for $5. So they had like this Captain Planet VHS that I grabbed, and also one of the Choose Your Own Adventure Goosebumps books, which I had a few of these when I was younger and really liked them. So I was like, yeah, for $5, that's pretty cool. But then another booth also had $5 VHS tapes, and I was so excited to find Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas Special on VHS for $5. I love this Christmas special. I was so bummed when it got pulled off of Netflix a few years ago. So now I have a VHS copy, which is pretty awesome. And then that table also had Dinosaurs, which is like a bunch of claymation skits, which is, I can't remember his name. Will Vinton? So it's the same animator behind like California Raisins and stuff like that. So so that's something unique and fun and good for VHS. So I grabbed that as well, and I'm excited to check this out. Okay, so let's start talking about some of the action figures that I picked up. On the G.I. Joe side, I did pick up one loose G.I. Joe figure, which is Heat Viper. This one doesn't have any accessories with him whatsoever, but he was like $3, and it's one of the ones I had as a kid, so I just grabbed him because he's a very cool looking character for $3. And I also found a baggie, which was like $3 or $5, I don't know, but it had 2 Cores figures in it, so I figured why not. I love these as well. I especially love the astronaut spacey looking ones, so that felt like a really good pickup. For the AWA Remco figures, I got Animal. So now I just need to get a Hawk, and, obviously I would love to get these more complete, find the tag titles and everything, but it was a good price, and I didn't have Animal yet in my collection, so, starting to add some Road Warriors love there. I guess since I don't have Hawk, this guy will just have to be the Road Warrior Animals tag team partner. This is a Bad Boy Biker Raphael. He's from the Next Mutation toy line, which is pretty overlooked. And this one actually came packaged with a motorcycle. There was no motorcycle with this guy, but I found him in like a dig bin of figures for $2. And I couldn't leave him. I didn't actually have this figure, so for $2, yeah, why not? And now we're starting to get into the more exciting stuff, because for one of the collections I have been focusing on building this year, I added Hook Horror to my LJN Dungeons and Dragons lineup. Got a really good deal on this one as well. Shout out to my friend Dealer Dan for giving me a great deal on Hook Horror. This is an awesome figure. He's one that I've been looking at for a while, and I'm really happy to add more of these beasties to my Dungeons and Dragons collection. And this brings us to like the few pieces that I consider like my best finds of the show, or the things that have me personally the most excited. I got 2 figures from the Remco Christar toy line, being Magma Man and Moltar. Both of these guys look to be at least near complete. I believe Magma Man is supposed to have another accessory, but they were near complete at least. They're in amazing shape. The dealer that I bought these from said that these are his childhood figures, and he's been bringing them to shows with them for years and nobody was buying them. He had really good prices on these, and I ended up bundling and getting this whip accessory as well, which is for Dragon Lord, who is like the villain dragon rider, because I knew that I had Dragon Lord at home already with the Magma Dragon. He ended up basically throwing this in for free, which was awesome. And then I got home and I pulled out my figures and I realized that I already had the whip. So I'm a little bummed out by that. Obviously, I didn't need it. I do still appreciate the fact that I got that thrown in, and definitely will probably find use for it still. But so happy to add these 2 figures to my collection of Christar, which is growing. I didn't have these 2 already. I do have the Crystal Dragon and the Magma Dragon. They're just misplaced in a bin somewhere right now, but I love these figures. I love looking at these all together, and I'm looking forward to hunting more of these down. I want to get more of the Christar collection because it's a really good one.
The Saga of Christar, a fantasy world of crystal warriors, demons, and wizards. Good wizards like Ogiodi, evil wizards like Sarda, and underworld demons like Moltar.
They've captured Ogiodi!
Each figure with a crystal prism that makes everything look like this.
Goodness and right, evil and might, the winner is out to you.
The Saga of Christar collection. Each figure sold separately by Remco.
And finally, for my biggest find of the day, also my biggest purchase, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And after Christina said, look, you should just do it. It's time to do it. So I did. I went back to that dealer and I got Snake Man. Now, what is awesome is it had a $100 price tag on it. I think I ended up offering $80, $85, and he took it. So I got a deal on it. It's still a lot of money to pay for one figure, but man, this is one I've been wanting for a very long time. He is obscure. He is always commanding that type of a price point. And this is just a really fun line of Mega Man figures. I know that they're based on that cartoon look rather than the actual video game artwork. But man, the gimmick here, where like Mega Man can actually steal the powers and use them for his Mega Buster to fire them, is such a fire idea. You like how I worked that in? That's perfect, right? But it works perfect, man. It's such a great action feature. It's such a great gimmick. And Snake Man is such a cool figure. He's probably the figure of the line. I mean, he is that cool looking. I'm so happy to finally add this one to my collection. Although I feel like it was a double-edged sword, because now I feel the strong urge to complete this collection. Yeeks. One last thing before we go. When we left the Toyman Show, we decided to stop at a mall before we went home because there was a Lego store. But also, outside of the Lego store, there was also a vintage stock, and I love vintage stock. If you've never been to vintage stock stores, they're pretty cool. So I always like to go in there and check the toy section specifically. You never know what they're gonna have. Well, they were doing a huge sale too, so all of their toys were 33% off. And as I'm scanning their section, nothing crazy, but I found a vintage boxed War Planets Beast Tank Scorpizoid from Trendmasters. Now, War Planets is another line that I've kind of looked at quite a bit this year. They're pretty expensive. This right here had a $25 price tag on it. 33% off made it $18. It has been opened before, it was taped shut, so it was kind of a gamble what was inside, but I decided to take the gamble. I paid $18 for this. I opened it up and was pleasantly surprised that it looks like all the minifigures are in here. This thing is in great shape. And now I've got my first War Planets toy. That is pretty awesome. And what a fun way to end an already fun day of toy hunting. Man, it was a really good day, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this video, like I said, more of a show and tell type thing, showing off my haul, but like, I got some cool stuff. And I was just excited to talk about it, so I hope that you guys were excited to see it. Very special thanks to all of the viewers that I met at Toyman. I got stopped many times, so I always really appreciate that. You guys are amazing. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was really fun. We're going to return back to our normal toy hunting type programming next Saturday. I've got a big one coming up with my Retro Palooza video, so please stay tuned. And of course, very special shout out to all of my supporters over on Patreon. Thank you guys so much. But I appreciate every single one of you who are supporting me, no matter how you choose to do it, even if it's just by watching this video or leaving a comment or hitting that like button, and of course, subscribing. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Happy hunting, my friends. And until next time.